Welcome to our air composition of air and environmental pollution series. This extract is from Jam Remix, so credit to them for using their material. The first question: when air which contains the gases oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and rare gases is passed through alkaline pyrogalon and then over quicklime, the only gases left are. I would like you to bring out your note and jot down. Right. Alkaline pyrogalon, or heated copper or burning phosphorus removes oxygen or absorbs oxygen. Number 2, fused calcium chloride. Fused calcium chloride is CaCl2. Fused calcium chloride or calcium oxide, open bracket, quicklime, and H2SO4, they absorb water or water vapor. Number 3, right? Lime water, open bracket, Ca, open another bracket, OH, close bracket, 2, that's calcium hydroxide, comma, NaOH, comma, KOH, they absorb carbon 4 oxide. So from this note you just got down now, we're given alkaline pyrogalon, okay? So alkaline pyrogalon would absorb oxygen will be gone. Quicklime would absorb water vapor will be gone. And the last, will they give us another one? Okay, alkaline pyrogalon and then quicklime. The only gases that will now be left is option E: nitrogen, carbon 4 oxide, or carbon dioxide, and rare gases. Number 1 is option E. 2, a gas jar was inverted over burning yellow phosphorus floating over water in a beaker. After burning, the water level was found to rise in the gas jar. The water level rises because, number 2, let's see, oxygen in the gas jar has just been used by the burning. Oxygen in the gas jar had been used up by burning. Remember, we said burning phosphorus can absorb oxygen. It absorbs oxygen. So number 2 is option C. Correct option is C. 3, when a piece of charcoal enclosed in a cylinder containing air is ignited, what will happen? The oxygen is used up and the volume of carbon 4 oxide will be increased. So that's option D. The relative amount of carbon dioxide present is increased. 3 is option D. 4, it's not hard. I know most people, if you come across something like this, you'll be like, how do I go about this? It's similar thing to question 1. Air, right, coming into it. Alkaline pyrogalon absorbs oxygen. Calcium chloride would absorb water. So in the above experiment, X is what's left now going out. Let me see, is option E, a mixture of nitrogen and inert gases. That's what is left as option X. You might ask, sir, how do you know that it's nitrogen and inert gases? Air is a mixture of water vapor, oxygen, nitrogen, inert gases, carbon 4 oxide. Okay, now you are given from our equation here that from our diagram, alkaline pyrogalon, this one will remove oxygen, one hand. Then this calcium chloride will remove water vapor. You'll be left with a mixture of nitrogen and inert gases. 5, for iron to rust, they should be present. For iron to rust, what should be present? Right, iron can only rust in the presence of moist air and oxygen. Iron only rusts in the presence of moist air and oxygen. So number 5 is moisture and oxygen, option D. Number 6, the nitrogen gas obtained by burning an excess of phosphorus in the air has a density higher than the nitrogen from nitrogen compound because the nitrogen from air is contaminated with option D, rare gases. Remember, in the air, you could write this down. In the air, nitrogen is 78%. while oxygen is about 21%. So in the nitrogen in the air is there, and do not forget there are rare gases in the air too. So the nitrogen in the air is considered to be contaminated by rare gases, option D. 7. When air is passed through alkaline pyrogalon and then over quicklime, the only gases left are alkaline pyrogalon will remove oxygen, quicklime absorbs what? Go back to your notes. Quicklime absorbs water. What will be left? Question 7 is similar question to question 1. Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and rare gases, option E. The next question, number 8. In what respect will two dry samples of nitrogen gas differ from each other? Sample 1 is prepared completely by removing CO2 and oxygen from the air, and sample 2 is prepared by passing purified nitrogen 1 oxide over heated copper. Sample 1 is number 8. Sample 1 is denser. So number 8 is option B, slightly denser than sample 2, because sample 1 was gotten from the mixture of other items and it was gotten from air. So it is more denser, meaning it might contain more impurities. 9. The approximate, this has to do with a calculation, will demonstrate it properly. Number 10. The exhaust fumes from a garage in a place that uses petrol of high sulfur content are bound to contain. Now, they are petroleum products, that's crude oil product. They are crude oil with high sulfur content. They are not really the best of crude oil. Then there are crude oil that have low sulfur content, like the crude oil from Nigeria. Now, sulfur is like an impurity that's not needed inside of it. So these ones, they will be bound to contain carbon dioxide, sulfur oxide, and SO3. Option C. Option C. This is because when the petroleum, when the crude oil is finally refined and they are making use of the petroleum, like from the exhaust now, as the engine burns the PMS, the petrol, sulfur will be given out. Then remember, there's oxygen in the air. When sulfur reacts with oxygen, it forms SO2, SO3, and this would cause acid rain. So and even hydrogen sulfide too is part of it. 10 is option C. Would have been best if this CO2 was given to us H2S, SO2, and SO3. That would have been best, but this our best our best pick here, number 10, is C. Let's go back. This will stop at question 25 and complete the other one. There are about 60 questions here. 11. A stream of air was successfully passed through 3 tubes XYZ containing concentrated aqueous solution of potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide. Red hot copper absorbs oxygen and fused calcium chloride. Calcium chloride absorbs water vapor. Calcium chloride absorbs water vapor. So what will be left? Question 11, similar thing to question 1. You could go back to it. Water vapor, nitrogen, and inert gases. Option D. What will be left? Water vapor. Let's see. Calcium chloride, respectively. Water vapor will not be left. Nitrogen and inert gases. Option C. Water vapor cannot be left because calcium chloride would absorb water vapor. Copper will absorb oxygen. This one will absorb carbon dioxide, potassium hydroxide, I mean to say. 11 is option C. 12. Corrosion is exhibited by corrosion. Remember, for iron to rust, you need moist air and oxygen. Don't forget that one. So they say corrosion is exhibited by all metals. Please, all metals exhibit corrosion, while the corrosion of iron is called rusting. 13. This similar question again. CO2, this removes CO2, this removes oxygen, this is a drying agent. So in the above setup, substance X, Y, Z respectively are, what will remove carbon dioxide is actually potassium hydroxide. What will remove oxygen? Alkaline pyrogalon. Then what is actually a drying agent? So 13 will go with, let's see, option C, potassium hydroxide and alkaline pyrogalon. Option C. Because they ask you what is X and Y. They didn't ask what is X, Y, Z. X and Y. 14. The major ratio of oxygen to nitrogen in dissolved air is 2:1, whereas the ratio is 4:1 in atmospheric air, because nitrogen is less soluble than oxygen. Keep this in mind. Nitrogen is actually less soluble than oxygen. Question 15. A quantity of air was passed through a weighted amount of alkaline pyrogalon. Just know oxygen will be removed. An increase in the weight of the alkaline pyrogalon would result from the absorption of oxygen. 15 is option D. I'll show you the get them now. See how easy it is. Next, 16. The pollutants that are likely present in an industrial environment are all pollutants, hydrogen sulfide, SO2, and the oxide of nitrogen. Option A, these are common pollutants in industrial environment. 17. Which of the following gases dissolve in water vapor to produce acid rain? Do not forget, sulfur and nitrogen, they do that. But in this case, we'll pick sulfur 4 oxide. 18. Argon is used in gas-filled electric lamp because argon helps to prevent oxidation of the lamp filament. Option B. 19. The air around a petroleum refinery is most likely to contain SO2, CO, and NO2. Option C. 20. Similar setup was given. Air is entering. C. Air they enter. So they can say calcium chloride. No forget, say calcium chloride they come out water vapor. Wetin go dey left. The setup above would be useful in determining the amount of, you already know, option B, water vapor. Because calcium chloride is a drying agent that removes water vapor. You could see how cheap it is. You just need to get the first one. Helium is often used in the observation balloon because it is, option B, light and non-combustible. 22. When plastic and packaging materials made from chloroethane are burnt in the open, the mixtures of gases released into the atmosphere is most likely to contain 22 is option C, hydrogen chloride. Option C. 23. Which of the following gases is most dangerous pollutant? Carbon 2 oxide is the most dangerous pollutant. No forget that one, because it causes brain damage. I can also prevent the body of enough oxygen. Don't forget. And note, it is colorless, right? It is colorless, it is odorless, and also tasteless, and it's non-irritating to the respiratory tract. So it could just be there, and it does a lot of damage. Carbon 2 oxide, not carbon 4 oxide, carbon 2 oxide, option D. 24. The property used in obtaining oxygen and nitrogen industrially is called boiling point. Industrially, the boiling point of nitrogen, right? Boiling point of nitrogen is minus 196 degrees Celsius. That of oxygen is minus 183 degrees Celsius. So their boiling points are used to obtain them industrially. 25. Excess phosphorus was burnt in gas jar and residual gas passed successfully over concentrated potassium hydroxide. Phosphorus remove oxygen, potassium hydroxide will remove carbon 4 oxide, and concentrated H2SO4 will remove water vapor before being collected in the flask. The gases collected are, the gas that will be left, 25, let's see, is option C, nitrogen and rare gases. Option C, nitrogen and rare gases. We'll stop here because of time. The next video would complete this chapter. After you've followed through from question 1 to question 25, snap that your note where you don't write. You suppose write note. I don't give a lot of points. Snap the note and send to me. And also do something. If you get any question at all, any part where you know they clear, just screenshot the video, use your WhatsApp marker, mark that part, send that to me. I will make more explanation to you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. If you also invite your friends to join our classes,